This is the brand new Die Hard Guards podcast, formerly Cleveland Don't Mess It Up, and we have an exciting new show for you today. Coming up, we're talking impactful trades and signings and how they may impact the season. We'll talk 26-man roster, one spot up for grabs. Who could it go to? We'll also give you our hot takes and bold predictions for the upcoming season. Without further ado, I give you the Die Hard Guards podcast.
3 guys, 2 generations, 1 baseball team. Just when you thought there were too many mediocre Guardians podcasts, we're here to bring you one more. This is the Die Hard Guards podcast with your hosts Brent, Tim, and Zian.
Ladies and gentlemen, it feels so great to be back. I'm your host, Brent, along with my father, Tim.
Hello.
And my brother, Zian.
Hello.
As I mentioned previously, you may remember us from our days as Cleveland Don't Mess It Up. While we still have plenty of love for the Cavs, we have always been and will always be a baseball-first family. Thank you all for joining us. Now let's get started. Number one on the agenda today, Bybee extension.
Ooh. Wow, you're getting right
We're
at it.
getting right into it. The exciting stuff first. Tanner Bybee, what was it? A 5-year extension, team option for a 6th year, $48 million guaranteed.
It's like a $9 million AAV or something.
Yes, shook out to be something like that.
Listen, I'm telling you. I think it's a good deal for both. I really do. Listen, if you think about, he's still on his rookie deal, right? He's got a couple years of arbitration coming up. So if you look at the $3 million, the $4 million, and then upwards from there, if you total it up, it's probably about what he was going to make anyway. That $21 million in those last 2 years would have been him coming out of arbitration and signing a contract with someone for around that kind of money if he's pitching at a high level.
Yeah.
So it's probably about the same money he would have signed for, and he gets the guaranteed money now, staying in Cleveland. I think it's a great deal for everybody.
For those of you who haven't heard, the contract details, he got a $2 million signing bonus. He'll make $3 million in 2025, $4 million 2026, $7 million 2027, $10 million in 2028, and $21 million in 2029, with another $21 million additional for the club option or a $1 million buyout.
It was pretty much what he was projected in arbitration.
Basically exactly what he was going to get in arbitration overall, including the potential 2 years of free agency.
And the Guardians saying, hey, you're probably going to make around 20, 21 million. So here it is. Now, don't get me wrong. Bybee has great stuff, and he's a confident pitcher. And he doesn't even when he gets in trouble during the course of the season, he doesn't pitch a great game, he comes back and pitches well. So it's not like he's a very dependable guy. And he doesn't get shook. So the only way Bybee loses in this deal, right? Because odds are during the course of the next 5 years at some point, he's going to wind up with Tommy John.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's a slider pitcher. He's probably going to wind up with Tommy John at some point in the next 5 years. So for him, it's a super safe contract, especially if I get hurt and I have to come back and pitch. I'm getting paid. I might miss a whole season, but I'm still getting paid. The Guardians are also taking the risk on that because they know he has not had that kind of surgery. I'm not saying he ever will. He might be just one of those guys who never has
He
to
might be
happen.
Garrett Cole and not get it until he's 39.
That's right. Who knows? But the reality of it is his age, the type of pitcher he is, probably going to happen during this contract. That's fine. I think it's still a good deal for us because now we have a guy, potential Cy Young candidate, as our ace. We really do. He is that kind of pitcher.
Agreed. And he saw firsthand what happened to Shane Bieber, where I'm sure the team offered him an extension. He wanted to bet on himself. He got through arbitration, and now he re-signs on a 1-and-1 $10 million deal.
Well, I'm sure he talked to Bieber about
Exactly.
it.
And I think that's the main reason why I'm sure he took this deal, because I think Bieber was like, hey, if there's money on the table, and this, I think I heard somewhere that this is the most money they've ever committed to a pitcher. at one time.
That could be.
The most guaranteed money they've ever committed to a pitcher. I'm sorry. Maybe Carlos Carrasco had a larger extension.
Total cumulative
something like that.
But regardless, I mean, I think it's a great deal because of the situation that he's in. And I'm telling you, if you don't think the Guardians don't have the data on pitchers and what age group and how many pitches you've thrown before you wind up getting Tommy John, they know. They got a ballpark figure. They understand. I'll guarantee you that was part of this negotiation.
Yeah. So my overall thought is, initially, it immediately came to my head, and I'm sure it came to everybody else's head. Well, he left money on the table, but in reality, when you look at it broken down year by year, it's a good deal for him. It's a good deal for the team.
Well, with how we run the organization, it's likely we're not paying him the $21 million at the end of it.
The second year, $21 million. You're right.
But he's
You're absolutely right.
It is guaranteed money for him.
Yes.
So he's making it no matter what, no matter where he's at.
Yeah.
So there's two
And
scenarios.
we get him until he's in his 30s, which
right.
is
And there's
fine.
but there's
right.
two scenarios.
Yeah, we get him right at the beginning of his prime.
Yeah, so there's two scenarios here though, okay, right? So let's say he has Tommy John late in this contract. Then you get into the Shane Bieber situation again, right? Where you might wind up with him for more years as he rehabs through that injury. If it happens early in this contract, I can tell you right now that if he's in the hunt for a Cy Young and 1 or 2 or 3 of those years of that deal, then there is zero chance of him staying in Cleveland because someone's going to throw $30-40 million at him to come pitch for them, a guy who's in the perennial hunt for a Cy Young every year. So they're going to throw a bunch of money at him, and when they do, he's going to take it, and he's a fool not to. But I think he likes this contract. He likes it in Cleveland. He likes the coaching staff.
He was going to be here anyways.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Right.
get
And-
paid while you're here.
Exactly.
Might as well.
And other talking points that I've heard are the new CBA is coming in a few years, and this contract, that $21 million after the new CBA, will most likely be considered cheap at that point.
Yeah, it might be a great deal.
For a number 1 or number 2 starter, whatever he winds up being.
Yep.
Even potentially if he drops into that number 3 starter spot, if he has an injury and he doesn't quite come back the way he should, you could potentially be looking at a high-end number 3 starter for $20 million, and it might not be too bad by that time. So, overall, I think it's a great deal. And I mean, I love Tanner Bybee.
Yeah.
He's a
who
dog
doesn't?
on the mound.
Yeah, and he's improved every year. Like this every year after year he gets better. So I don't expect that to stop.
Yeah, I expect more of the same this year. Obviously, God forbid any injuries arise. He's a pretty durable guy.
Yeah.
So
really,
far.
so far.
We'll see.
you
We'll
know.
see where it gets to for sure.
So that's one of the most exciting things that's happened in the last 4 years.
It was a surprise, I think, to everybody. I think we all
and
got surprised by that.
and obviously
We knew they were going to try to do it, but we
they're
definitely got
always
surprised.
going to try to get those extensions done in spring training because that's who they are.
Yeah.
There were talks that they were trying to get Stephen Kwan situated. I'm guessing that didn't happen.
Listen,
Yeah.
I think the deadline.
we
has
might as
passed
listen.
for
We
that.
might as well go into that. All right, listen.
We can talk about it.
Stephen Kwan. Okay, listen. I, of course, you would want to give Stephen Kwan an extension, right? He's going to be who he is. He's going to hit well. He's going to play a great left field. He's going to be an all-star, potential all-star every year. He's going to push for batting titles once in a while. I mean, he's just going to be that guy. He's a great leadoff hitter. He really does force pitchers to throw a bunch of pitches. He's just a tough out. He's everything you want in a leadoff hitter. He's got that great personality. Everybody loves him. Of course, you want to extend him, but I got to tell you, Stephen Kwan, if he even attempts to sign an extension with the Guardians, his agent will tackle him off the desk with the pen in his hand
We'll be wondering
We'll
where
tackle
Stephen
him to the
Kwan's been
ground
for the last 3 weeks.
and scream at him, no, don't sign that.
He's tied up in his agent's basement.
Because two things. He just got married. He's married to a Chicago girl. He lives in the off season in Chicago. It's very likely that he winds up signing a pretty big money deal with a Chicago team, a team that's in a way bigger market than us that can afford that kind of signing. So odds are we trade him for a full season or half season as his contract comes up. So we can get as much value out of him as we can. Not because we don't like Stephen Kwan, not because the organization doesn't like him. Everybody loves him, and they are definitely going to offer him money, but he is just not going to accept the money we're going to offer him.
And quite frankly, it's too bad that they offered him Miles Straw money.
Originally, yes.
Originally.
They tried it, but again, why wouldn't you try to get him early? Acuna gets $10 million a year for 10 years.
And Miles Straw money's not bad.
So,
money.
I mean,
Ronald Acuna, that was the greatest signing ever.
Before
Ronald Acuna.
arbitration?
Ronald Acuna, the Atlanta Braves, trying to sign him before he got out of his rookie deal and giving him 10 years, $100 million. Greatest signing ever. Ronald Acuna is a perennial MVP candidate.
When his legs attached to his body. Yeah.
And when he's healthy. And we try to do the same thing as Stephen Kwan. So why not?
The only difference is Stephen Kwan had already won a Gold Glove, and he had already kind of shown his hitting prowess.
But it's the same as the Bibee thing. You're stuck here for 7 years.
It's a little different.
Why not
for
avoid
hitters.
arbitration?
It's a little bit different for a hitter, though, because a hitter can bet on themselves because there aren't.
But you're stuck here for 7 years. You're going to get paid what you're going to get paid.
I get that.
So make a little bit more.
But also, your arbitration numbers are much higher than pitchers because you're not as at risk for injury.
And regardless, like I said, Zian, it really comes down to his contract.
Yeah.
Right. If his agent would tackle him at the desk as he went to sign, his agent would tackle him off the chair. So yeah, it's not going to happen.
We still got him for a couple more
That's right.
years.
We got to go for a couple years. We're going to enjoy it while we got it.
Enjoy him, right?
That's right.
Isn't that how it goes?
That's what they say.
Right? Enjoy him.
And who knows? Maybe we can start with all you Guardians fans out there. Listen,
all 12 of you that are going to listen to this.
All 12 of you listening to this, start a letter writing campaign to his wife, to his new wife.
Write letters. It's
telling her how much we love him.
Letters.
Don't do that.
We love her. We love their family. We want them to stay in Cleveland. Forget about Chicago. We need them to stay in Cleveland.
Hey, Steven, we need your address. Is that cool? We're going to write you letters.
We love you, Steven.
Anyway, so that's not going to happen. I would have liked to see a Cade Smith, kind of a similar thing that they did with Stefan a couple years ago. I would have liked to see that a little bit. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cade Smith is probably a little bit smarter than that.
Well, so I think it's a both-sided thing. I think the Guardians are probably worried he's going to regress, and Cade Smith thinks he's too good of a pitcher to sign an
I think
extension,
this is the year.
Agreed. And rightfully so. Rightfully so on both sides.
He's under a lot of control still. He's still got, 3 years left to control?
Yeah.
So 2 years arbitration in that, whatever that is. So maybe 4 years of control and 3 years arbitration. What is it?
Something like that.
Yeah. So they've got time. I don't think this was an important year to get him signed. Don't get me wrong. If I hate to say this, but if he regresses this year, it actually helps the Guardians front office.
They'll definitely
try to
extend
get
him
him
next
to
spring.
an extension. But
if he regresses, they're extending him.
We
next
don't want him
spring.
to. We still want him to be one of the best relievers in baseball.
I think regardless, no matter whether he sees regression or not this year, he's still going to be one of the top end relievers in the game.
Agreed.
I have a lot of faith in that fastball.
Yep.
So okay, next order of business. Let's talk Nolan Jones. By now, everyone.
Well,
has
he used to play
heard-
for the Guardians. What's up with that?
What?
Well, everyone except you have heard that that Nolan Jones is back in.
Nolan Jones is back.
What? Nolan Jones is back. Traded 1-for-1 for Tyler Freeman.
Insane.
I'm
crazy
not
to think about.
sure. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it. The more I think about it, I understand somewhat. The Rockies have 3 young core outfielders that they want to roll with, and I don't think they believe in Nolan Jones' 2023 numbers. I don't know why. I think I heard
Anyone can have those numbers at cores.
I think I heard
You should keep them.
I heard on another podcast that recently-ish they fired their analytics department.
I did hear that.
So I don't know. Maybe they're just not looking in the right places, but I can't imagine. I don't know what I would think if we traded away Nolan Jones for Tyler Freeman.
I like Tyler Freeman, but I mean, like,
I like Tyler
if
Freeman.
you were a fan of the Rockies and Nolan Jones gave you that 2023,
right,
and in 2024 you know he was hurt and you know what was happening off the field,
right,
and then you trade him for a guy with like a career 84 WRC plus.
Yeah, a guy who's never been league average. I know he's been up and down because he hasn't.
If you just look at it as a fan of the Rockies, that's
right.
kind of
you don't really.
But we know Tyler Freeman.
We know
can
Tyler
hit.
Freeman. We know he could be a good major league hitter, and I think he will be with everyday playing time.
Yeah, and
but I don't think he's going to be a guy that can bring you that type of production. Like Nolan Jones could be even as a platoon partner, he could hit 25 home runs, steal 20 bases, take 50 walks. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Even playing part-time.
Better than Brennan.
Way better than
that was
Brennan.
I think that was what
So from
the
that
goal is.
vantage point, I don't get the trade. I know they needed a second baseman. I still don't understand it on their end. I'm glad that we pulled it off. I mean, Antonetti strikes again, right?
Well, Mr. Jones and me telling each other fairy tales.
I don't think anyone is old enough to get that reference.
You didn't get that reference? The Connie Crows reference?
I
okay,
know it.
anyway.
Our listeners
Mr.
won't know
Jones. Mr. Jones. Listen, when we traded Mr. Jones away, we all loved him. We all loved Mr. Jones.
We were up in arms.
We knew when he came up for that part of a season,
he got no shot.
that he didn't come out scorching. He wasn't tearing the cover off the ball.
He was playing a new position though.
He was
He'd always
playing-
been a third baseman.
That's right. He was playing a new position. He was splitting time with a guy who was hot at the time.
We thought he was going to move to first.
Absolutely. There was all kind of
He
stuff
probably
going on.
should have at the time.
Yep.
I mean,
And there was a right fielder playing with him, alongside him, that was really hitting well, and he wasn't hitting great. And then we
Oscar-
made the trade. Then
Oscar
we made the trade
went
to
on a
Colorado.
Jeremy Lin run.
Then we made the trade. Yeah. Then we made the trade to Colorado for Juan Brito. Okay. We all said, "Oh, that's too bad." I think we kind of gave up on him a little early. We didn't, he has some potential.
I do love Juan
we like
Brito.
Juan Brito,
But
but
Juan Brito's a great player, right? A great young player. We thought by now that Juan Brito would be up, actually helping us.
Right.
He just got sent back to AAA.
Well,
He's just not ready yet. Don't get me wrong, he's a year away. He'll be up next year. There's no doubt about it.
I think we'll see him this year because we're going in pretty deep here, but I don't believe in Gabriel Arias at all.
Well, yeah.
So
that's
I think
another,
we're going to see Juan Brito very soon.
We'll,
but
we'll get to
we'll
that.
into that.
So he goes to Colorado, right? Has a full rookie season under his belt. Hits 20 home runs, 20 doubles, steals 38 bases. First rookie ever with those three numbers.
100th percentile
Maybe.
arm strength and
100 percentile arm strength.
The best
has
outfielder
an
in the
outstanding,
game.
and we all go, "Oh, Nolan Jones." We traded
No.
Nolan Jones away for a double A
We got rid of
baseman.
the next Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
We coped with it by saying, "Oh, he's going to have BABIP regression. His numbers are inflated because it's cores and all
Now,
this."
he did have injury issues.
He did.
So,
he had injury issues
Right.
after that.
It was
His
a-
numbers were slightly inflated. He's never going to do that
But
again.
let's
Fangraphs
just
had
say-
a great article on it. There's a lot that went wrong last year.
Yes. But let's
That
just
led
say
to that season.
let's just say Nolan Jones is who we thought he was when he first came up and when he was the best player on our AAA team in Cleveland. Okay?
Yeah, he was our number one prospect.
Let's look at that and say, okay, he's back. All right. Like us, he went to Korea and played for 2 years, and
Yeah,
now
sure.
he's back, right?
Yeah, basically.
Because listen, because we all love Tyler Freeman. Tyler Freeman was my breakout player of the year this year. I was going to come on this show and pick Tyler Freeman as the breakout player of the year for this year for the Guardians. He's gone now. And I think he's going to be the breakout player of the year for the Colorado Rockies. So I think he's in a great place now where he's going to get every day at bats. I don't think we handled listen, out of the three of us sitting in this podcast right now, I am usually the one who agrees with the way the Guardians handle things. Being a small market, the way they handle players, the way they get the most out of contracts, the way they do that.
He's of another generation.
I am all about it. I think they do a great job. They keep us in contention all the time. I think they do a great job. But This is one of the few players that's come along that I have literally had to say, I don't think they've handled Tyler Freeman good. Tyler Freeman at every level of the minor leagues was never our number one prospect, but outplayed every player on every team he's ever been on. He was the best player on the field in single A, double A, triple A, regardless of how high the guys were listed above him on our prospect list. He outplayed them, got to the major leagues, and has done nothing but bounce around position to position. Tito abused him.
Tito only played him on Sundays.
Yep, Tito just abused him that first year he was up. Didn't get consistent anything. Then last year he got bounced around to new positions and all over the place. Then he got hurt. It's just not been a good handling of a really good player. And I think he goes to Colorado. If he stays healthy, I think he becomes a really, really good player for the Colorado Rockies. So congratulations to Tyler, who's going to get consistent playing time now and at bats every day. Yep. Congratulations to him. I hope he does well. Nolan Jones now coming back. I think he gives us the opportunity to have a guy in the middle of the order that can actually protect Jose. One of the few people on our roster
I think
that can not only take a walk, but can hit a home run, can hit a double, can drive in runs. I think he can
steal bases.
Yep. And we don't even want him to steal bases anymore.
No, he doesn't need to, but he can. He can if necessary.
But he can play a good outfield. He has a big arm, and on top of that, he can actually protect Jose Ramirez. It's been a while since we had a guy who can do that.
I think when you look at Lane Thomas, who's in a contract year, and everyone's talking about it, I think everyone expects him to have a good season, and I think he's going to play every day, regardless. Platoon splits don't even matter at this point. He's playing every day. He's playing for a contract. He's going to play well. Kyle Manzardo is going to have, I don't know if he's going to have a huge breakout year, but I think he's going to be one of our most consistent bats. And potentially to have Nolan Jones hitting fifth behind those guys, all of a sudden that gives you a whole nother depth option of power. I mean, we're talking Lane Thomas could hit 25 home runs.
Yeah.
Kyle Manzardo can hit 25 home runs. And now you have another guy who can hit 25 home runs as a part-time player, back to back in your lineup.
And I got to tell you, for all of the skeptics out there who said, why would you trade Josh Naylor? Well, now we got a guy who replaces him plus.
Yeah.
It's he could be like Josh Naylor that walks, which would be
Josh Naylor
huge.
who gets on base more often and scores more runs.
Yep, more athletic. I mean,
and has the potential to drive in just as many runs as Naylor ever did.
And might not hit the ball on the ground 50% of the time.
Yep.
Now
no double plays.
You need to look at it in terms of what does Carlos Santana, Kyle Manzardo, and now Nolan Jones give you to make up for what you lost, and they're going to give you more.
Not to mention, we all feel now my breakout player of the year is Brian Rocchio. I don't think anyone would disagree with me. I think if Brian Rocchio has the kind of season we think he could have this year, we are a special offensive team. I really believe that.
And defensive team, really, if you think about it.
Yeah,
I mean, he locks down the middle of the field pretty well.
Yeah, we still have our issues at second base.
Yeah, you're gonna be up and down at second base, but I think if you look everywhere else, Jose's locked down at third. Santana's a Gold Glover at first. Kwan's a Gold Glover in left. Lane Thomas is okay. He's gonna hover around league average.
But there's a guy waiting in the wings. There's a guy, Chase DeLauder, sitting in the wings. He's injured right now. He'll be back sometime in the next couple months. I don't know, man. You never know. He's still going to be in the mix.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how does the Nolan Jones trade affect the future of Chase DeLauder?
Well, here's what affects it. If Nolan Jones plays well for us, hits well, and Lane Thomas is hitting well, it really changes the time frame that we see Chase DeLauder in.
Only by a couple months.
Yes. I think now you're talking, now he's a September call-up instead of a coming up during the season and getting playing time.
Yeah, he's no longer a July.
Now, if one of those guys in the outfield, if there's an injury in the outfield, or if
there's always an injury in our outfield.
And there is, or if one of the guys isn't performing well, guys aren't hitting well, then I think you're going to see, if he's playing well in AAA and he's healthy, you're going to see a fast track.
A lot of things could happen this year in terms of your lineup. If Carlos Santana performs poorly, then you're probably looking at Manzardo getting a lot more first base time.
Listen,
Nolan Jones getting a lot more.
I have heard
time. That would open
Santana
up the
play
door for
guitar so many times. He never performs poorly. He's a solid guitarist. He never performs poorly.
I didn't miss that joke.
Oh, you're talking about the other.
I didn't miss.
You're talking about the
joke.
other Santana.
I think no matter what, he'll be a decent enough platoon bat at first, so it doesn't matter.
I do think we're going to see him get less and less time as the season goes on, though.
Maybe so, but I will say this: we all love Carlos Santana. He is he's a staple for Guardians fans. Everyone loves him. Great in the locker room.
And he'll walk.
Yep, and he takes walks, boy. That boy takes walks.
Let me tell you something about this lineup. These guys are going to take walks.
Everyone but Jose
Holy
is going to get
dude.
on base.
That's why they need to bring DeLauder up. He just
Guys,
doesn't take any walk. He just swings a bat.
Everybody,
A little bit.
everybody now 1 through 6, except for maybe Lane Thomas, and he has a decent walk rate. Could potentially walk in the same inning, like give you a 10-pitch walk at bat.
The problem
in
is
one inning.
The problem is Lane Thomas is
but
Pete
then-
Wheeler.
The problem
It
is,
kinda
though,
is, huh?
we could.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, and this is the problem with our lineup, we could get 5 walks in an inning and come away with 1 run.
Yeah,
That's
true.
our problem.
That is true. Until John Kenzie Noel comes up with the bases loaded every other game.
Let's hope. He hits them out when he gets there.
He hits 30 home runs as a short side platoon player.
Don't swing at that slider away. Stop swinging at it.
John
Don't hit
Kenzie
that-
Noel
slider away. Leave it alone.
breaks the single season Grand Slam record as a short side platoon player.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We won 8-0 on 2 hits.
yeah, that. Hey, I'm cool with that. We haven't had that in how long? I don't even think we've ever. I mean, since Jose and Lindor were in the same
2017 probably.
Since Edwin was here. So even if Nolan Jones doesn't necessarily work out, if he doesn't live up to what we think he could be, I don't think that's a bad thing.
As long as he's above league average.
I think even in a bad year,
I think he's definitely going to be above league average. Definitely going to
I
be
think
above league average.
a bad year for him, I think he could hover around that 100 WRC plus. But I also think that he's still going to hit you 15 home runs and take 50 walks. The walks don't go away. His walk rate was still elite, even in a bad year last year with all those injuries.
Listen, think about the guys. Think about the guys who are big guys. He's a big guy. All right. Nolan Jones is a big dude.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'5", probably what, 225?
He's got to be 225.
He's big.
And he had a whole offseason where he was kind of injured with a back injury, and he put on some size. Like he's probably bigger now than he was last year.
Yeah,
so
probably.
You're gonna get some more strength. You're gonna get some more power here. I think he's a 20+ home run guy every year. I think he's just that guy.
And there's a lot of talk that we don't see him lift the ball enough. We don't see him pull the ball in the air. And I agree with that.
But that's all the problems with Josh Naylor. You can't have that conversation and then be like, I'm mad we traded Josh Naylor.
But also, when healthy, he gives you better bat speeds than Josh Naylor. He gives you a higher hard hit rate.
He's way
than
more
Josh
mobile.
Naylor.
Yeah,
He's way
takes
more
more
mobile.
walks.
He gets on base.
He has the ability to impact the game in other ways also that Josh Naylor didn't have. So even, again, in a down year.
And this is not hitting on Josh Naylor, but he is a limited
He is extremely limited
player.
And there's no question about it. He can play both corner outfields. He can play first base, and he can DH for you. Josh Naylor wasn't going to do any of those things.
Right. Yeah. Since the leg injury, Josh Naylor he was going to play first base, or he was going to.
And he shouldn't have
DH.
been playing first base.
And he shouldn't have been playing first base. I think in terms of Chase DeLauder, I think like I said, if Nolan Jones is not great, he's still going to be good, and he's kind of going to act as your Chase DeLauder decoy for a little while. You know what I mean?
Well, him and Noel will hopefully combine.
I will say this. We talked about
Chase
this
DeLauder.
earlier. We were kind of having a little discussion before the show. Can you imagine this lineup, right? So Chase DeLauder's a big dude too. He's like 6'4", 6'5". Nolan Jones is 6'5", 225. Big Christmas is like 6'3".
He's like 6'3",
240,
250,
whatever he is,
255.
250.
Something like that.
I mean, you're talking some big boys
Yeah,
walking up.
linebackers
That's
coming
some
up.
beef.
Walking up to the plate. I mean, no matter what, you guys, as a pitcher, you got to be thinking, I can't put one near the plate on any of
That's
these guys.
imposing, and not only that, but those Chase DeLauder, Nolan Jones, and Jhonkensy Noel are way more athletic than they look.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I was surprised by Noel in right field.
Noel
last year.
can move.
He can run, yeah.
He can move on the bases too. And we know Nolan Jones had a year of 20 steals. We know Chase DeLauder's a freak athlete. I mean, these guys are for real.
He's so freakish of an athlete. His foot can't.
And our
his
pitching
he
staff,
can't handle it.
and our pitching staff, when we walk in, looks like an NBA team.
They're for real.
Yeah,
6'5",
bullpen comes
6'6",
out.
6'7",
6'6".
6'8". They're the giant guys. These are all big
Man.
dudes. We're marching out of the bullpen throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs at you.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. So, welcome, Nolan. Welcome back. We're glad to have you. We did miss you. We talked about you often. But yeah, those are the two most exciting things
Jones.
that have happened.
Going to be a big
Going
star.
to be a big star. Yep. Beautiful.
I got you all with that one. That was great.
That was good. All right. So, moving on. Let's talk about impactful off-season moves. Okay. I have a list of names here. I'm going to throw them out there.
Okay.
And I want to
Is this rapid fire? Is this rapid fire response?
Ready, go? No. We're just going to take our time.
Eli
Not
Morgan.
gone.
Gone.
Impactful.
Next. Impactful. Yeah. Tyler Freeman. Gone. Hurts my heart a little bit, but
Yeah,
impactful.
We don't have a second baseman.
Hey,
We don't. I will say this. We do not have a second baseman.
I think we're all in agreement.
Right
that
now,
we
you
do
have
not a
Arias and
second baseman.
Schneeman, who are going to be
Platooning. I
Platooning.
guess.
Listen,
But
all
no,
right,
because Arias has
at
reverse splits,
second
so
base.
I don't know.
And Arias has reverse splits, so we literally
So Schneeman's facing lefties.
maybe
They both have
now
reverse splits? I don't know.
maybe now they reevaluate it and bring Brito back up.
It's possible.
That's my
The
thought.
problem is the
might bring
spring.
him back
All
up.
he had like 5 hits. They were all
They were
home
all
runs.
home runs, but
But
they was
what?
only 5
So what?
hits.
He walks and hits home runs. We'll take it.
But I keep hearing that it's what is it? Will Wilson?
Will Wilson.
Is it Will Wilson time?
Will Wilson.
Is that his name?
When
Willie.
there's a Will, there's a
Willie.
Wilson.
There's a Will.
That's what
There's
they
a
say.
guy.
Willie.
that-
Free Willie.
I mean, I don't know who he is. I don't know.
He's the next Cord Phelps.
We'll talk about that in a minute. No, I actually like Cord Phelps.
No, Arias is going to get the first shot. I mean, there's no question about it. He's going to get the first shot. He did hit a little bit this spring. It wasn't like nothing special,
He put
but
the bat on
he
the
hit
ball
bit.
a little hard.
I mean,
I get it.
I will put you this way: he hit better this spring than Rokia did most of the season last year. So, I mean, it's not like
But
Yeah,
it's
spring-
true.
spring
It's true though.
training
He did.
numbers.
He did. He did. He hit better.
I just can't.
Rocchio's
So-
spring and his postseason looks really good.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
he's-
Rokia
he
looks
thinks
like a
it's
monster.
good. Yeah.
Rokia looks like a monster. We're
That's-
high expectations for
He
Brian
might be
Rokia.
our
That's-
impact
that's
acquisition.
my
Just
Yeah, high
Rocchio
expectations.
figuring it out.
Rokia, that's
completely
my
agree.
shortstop right there.
And no matter what, the second baseman, the Arias, the Schneeman, no matter how they play, they're a placeholder. They really are. They're a placeholder for Travis Pizzana.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who they are.
He'll be up
no,
this year.
no hate
at some
to
point.
Schneeman
No, none at all.
because I think that dude is fun to watch.
Oh, dude,
I
we
think
love,
he hustles.
Listen,
I
we
think
love Schneeman.
he-
And listen,
He swings the bat hard.
and
He swings
listen,
the bat
I'm
hard.
telling you right now, we need to get his dad on the show. We need to get his dad on the show.
I may have an avenue.
We really got to get his dad on the show.
I may have an avenue.
I know. We got to get him on here.
I'll talk to my people.
I was
Talk
looking
about-
at something.
We'll talk about the upcoming season. What his expectations are for his son.
Yeah, I want to know kind of what they're telling him.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what role has he carved
Yeah,
out?
we'll bring him on. We'll try to
See what we can do.
He might
try
play
to
some
ver-
center field too.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's definitely going to play.
He's
He's
definitely
going to play
gonna play
everywhere. He's
some
going to play
center
third, short.
He's going to be a
second.
utility
Yeah.
guy. That's right.
Yeah.
And he didn't hit terrible this spring either. I mean, he hit pretty well.
He pokes the ball around.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. I'm hating on Arias though. Not gonna lie.
It's tough to
Not
listen.
gonna lie.
Arias
He's
is
got to
25.
show me something, man.
Arias is 25 years old.
We're talking about a
and
guy we've been waiting on for how long?
2 years. 2 years.
I
been waiting
understand
for him
he's
to-
young.
Yeah.
But man, we heard all this oh, well, if it wasn't for Fernando Tatis,
he'd be the starting shortstop.
Gabriel Arias would be up at 19
I don't think
years
that's
old.
true now.
That
Listen,
was just...
and again, it's more like you can just see when he gets into a situation. I hope this year it's different because the last 2 seasons he's got into these situations where he's in this kind of slump, and you could just see him give up and kind of fade away and not fight through it. And you know he's a better player than that, but if you can't prove you can hit, you just can't be on the field. So you got to prove you can hit.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out some names to you.
Tyler Naquin.
Yeah, we love Tyler Naquin.
Hey, he's actually on the
Welcome
list.
back.
We can start there if you want.
Welcome back, Tyler Naquin.
You want to start with Tyler
Throws
Naquin?
hard. He's going to be a pitcher.
I'm not
Whatever.
sure he's an impactful.
I think
we don't have any other minor league
I think they're
arms
just taking a
that
look.
aren't
I
high
think they're
school
just taking
kids
a look.
or
Listen. Everyone in the organization knows him. He came up through the
What's the
Guardians
harm?
organization. Everyone loves him.
he's not
Cleveland-
taking anyone's spot.
It's
It doesn't
Cleveland
matter.
legend Tyler Naquin.
It's just hey, I'm going to go to your minor leagues. I'm going to see if I can do it. If I can pull it off and I can be an effective pitcher, chances are they cut him loose and he goes and signs with somebody else.
I would imagine.
What'd they say? He was
yeah.
hitting 98 or something?
Yeah, they said
Well, he
was-
always had a good arm.
He's got
He could always
he's
throw.
got a big arm.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm in the camp that I think Arias should be a pitcher. Arias throws
I think Arias
98
should just
miles
do
an hour from
anything
shortstop.
but
I
swing
mean, he's got a
bat.
huge arm. I think he should definitely become a pitcher.
Is there like the DH equivalent of a defender playing shortstop? Because I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like just play short, don't hit.
No, he's not a very good shortstop either.
Well, he used to be. I don't know what happened to him.
Confidence.
That-
Confidence kills, man. Lack of confidence just kills players.
So Tyler Naquin, welcome back. Great to have you.
It'll be fun to watch and see what he can do.
He's a dude. We love him.
If he gets, listen, we're big minor league fans. We watch all our minor league teams and
yeah.
our players too. We watch them
If
all
he
season.
if he gets a shot, we will be.
We'll
tuning
be
in.
watching.
Yeah,
I'll
for
be
sure.
watching. His first inning, he pitches. I'll be watching. That
No
game.
doubt. I would imagine he's a reliever. He's not going to be a
Yeah, he'll be
he's
a
not-
bullpen guy.
Yeah. All right. So Shane Bieber. I don't know if you've heard about this guy.
You mean?
he's all right.
Yeah, he should be okay.
He's okay. Impactful. Yes.
Our rotation will look a lot better when he's back.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Really?
Does not look great at the bottom
Well,
right
it doesn't
now.
look,
Now-
it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look
The
terrible.
original
bad.
the original timeline seemed to be somewhere late June, early July.
I don't believe it.
In that realm.
Zian has a theory. Go ahead, Z.
Go
Give
for
me
it.
your theory.
My theory was he was trying to come back and pitch opening day. That's obviously not happening now.
Congratulations, Tanner Bybee.
But he's throwing bullpens like 4 days a week now. They wouldn't be ramping him up this much this early in the season if he was coming back in June.
And
I agree.
They
I
haven't
think
added
it's May.
him.
I think it's May.
They haven't added him officially to the 60-day IL.
They won't. I think they're going to try to throw him in May.
I think it's possible.
Yep.
I think it is a possibility.
Depending on. I mean, as long as there's no setbacks, I think he throws in May.
According to Zach Meisel, I think the timeline that they're aiming for is still maybe early June this time, but I'm guessing it's going to be mid to
I think
late
it'll
May.
keep getting earlier.
I think so too.
I will say this: if he comes back and pitches a month and a half, and he's Shane Bieber, we have a really tough decision to make because
Do we though?
next year he has a player option.
He's not taking it.
Which
It doesn't
he's not
matter.
going
if he
to take.
pitches well, he's not.
If he
taking
pitches
it.
well.
No.
So now,
I think you move.
so
him.
now if he gets, let's say he gets,
You mean by the mid-season point?
let's say he gets 6 games under his belt, right?
And he's Shane Bieber.
He's throwing 10 strikeouts a game, pitching 1-run shutout games, and getting into the 5th, 6th inning every night. I mean, you gotta think about trading him. I mean, I hate to say it, but you
Yeah.
gotta think about trading him because
I
someone's
think-
gonna pay a bunch to
I
get him.
I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I think there's a world where Shane Bieber picks up his option so the Guardians can trade him this winter.
Possibly,
I
and maybe
think
that was
that
part
may
of
be
the
part of
maybe
the
that was
deal.
part of the deal. But
You know?
the reality of it is, if he starts sooner rather than June, if he starts in May, it does make you have to think about it now. Like,
Right,
if he
yeah.
start pitching in June, he only has 3 starts under his belt before the All-Star break. Even if he's pitching well, no one's really making that deal for a guy who's pitching a couple games.
Right.
He'd have to come out and pitch 2 shutouts and a 1-hitter. You know what I mean? For someone to make a deal on that. But if he's got 6-8 games under his belt and he looks really good every night, man, people are gonna call. People are gonna call.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. Okay, so next name, Carlos Santana. We kind of talked about it already. We love Carlos. This is his 3rd stint with the team. He was a Gold Glover last year.
Should have won a Gold Glove when we had him in the second stint.
Probably.
The last year he was with us.
got
And they gave it to
snubbed.
Eric Hosmer for absolutely zero
Yeah.
reason.
Hosmer,
His
what a
numbers
joke.
were not better than Carlos
What a
Santana.
joke that
Nah,
was.
his numbers were terrible, and his podcast is terrible too.
We didn't
by
even
the
like
way.
Hosmer.
And then he says something like, man, how is WAR calculated? How do you think every MLB stat is calculated, moron?
Numbers.
You think
dude.
batting average is just a real thing? It's not a bunch of hits divided by whatever, you idiot.
How'd you get a podcast?
Because he got money.
Oy.
Because he somehow won a ring. What a
Won
joke.
2 of them.
Freaking joke.
All right.
Anyway,
Move on from
done
Hosmer.
hating on Hosmer. Yeah, I like the Santana move. I'm confused by it still. I don't really know how the pieces are going to move. Like when Fry comes back, and now we have Nolan Jones, and there's a lot of things. There are way too many outcomes.
Let me tell you.
for this
Listen.
season. I don't know what's going to
Let
happen.
me tell you
it's too
how-
hard to break it down.
Let me tell you how Carlos Santana wound up back in a Guardians uniform. Okay.
He said, "Hey, I
Two
want to be a
things.
Guardian," and they said,
No.
"Hey, all right, come on,
No, 2 things.
we got money. We got rid of Josh Naylor."
2 things. Listen, I think, yes, Carlos definitely reached out to the Guardians.
Supposedly, he turned
As-
down a bigger deal from
yeah,
Seattle.
as a backup role, absolutely, to come play for us. I think he loves it in Cleveland. I think he loves it. But if you don't think Jose Ramirez didn't go say, hey, sign my boy Carlos and get him back in his dugout because he is great in the clubhouse. He's a great leader. Get him back
so
in here.
here's
And Antonetti said, I have $12 million burning a hole in my pocket.
said, "Hey,
So-
man,
I'm gonna
I don't know
sign
what to do with
Carlos
this
Santana.
money."
That was a Jose signing.
So here's
Yeah.
what
Flat
here's how
out a
I
Jose Ramirez signing, and good for Cleveland for doing it because that's what you do with your greatest player. You do what he needs you to do.
here's how I
LeBron's
envision-
son is playing for the Lakers, by the way, and he's terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
and now
he's
Jose's
all
son
right.
is back.
Terrible.
He had 17 last game or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. That was garbage time.
Carlos will hit 2 home runs in a game this year too. By the way,
So
one game.
this
But I think he'll be a good platoon hitter.
Doesn't matter.
This is how
you
I
do. When
envision-
your best player says, "I want this guy," you go get that guy.
So this is how I envision. Jose walks into Antonetti's office and he says, "Hey, listen, I want to bring back Ahmed Rosario." Antonetti says, "No."
No,
He said, "Okay, now hear me out. I want to bring back Francisco Lindor." Antonetti says, "No."
that's never gonna happen.
So he says,
Is this a
"Well,
joke?"
What about Carlos Santana?" And Antonetti says, "Hang on, let me trade Josh Naylor real quick. We can get that done for you."
I don't think.
I think
do
that's
that right
exactly
now.
how it
Okay,
went.
no one quote that anywhere to anyone
I'm
you
gonna-
know
I'm-
because
I'm gonna
it's not
text
true.
Chris. I'm gonna text Chris and ask him.
All right, we should probably take a break. We're,
All right,
we're
yeah,
getting
we'll
too deep in.
we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're gonna talk some more impactful signings when we get back. Welcome back, folks. With a new show come new segments. And now I'd like to introduce my mom, who will bring you her quantum theory report.
Well, hello.
Hello.
5 days until opening day. Is that right?
It's something like
Yeah,
that.
we're right in there now.
I can't count, so
right.
Okay. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about the interesting ways that Stephen Kwan and I
Oh, that's the play on the quantum
Are-
theory.
connected.
oh,
Wait a minute. That's my what? Did she?
So, as you know, he plays left field, and he is a male, and he's also 27.
Wait, you're not a male.
You're
You're
not
not related.
male.
Wait,
Hold
I'm
up.
not.
Not in
I'm
common.
not down there yet.
You don't have that in common.
His birthday is in September, and while we don't have those things in common,
In fact, those seem to be exact
Yeah,
opposite.
those aren't even close.
The important things are coming.
Okay.
We're both above 5 foot and below 6 foot.
That's debatable.
Ah,
We are both super cute.
Okay, we got to agree with that one.
well,
We're going to go with that one.
Steven?
Have you
That's
seen
cute.
Stephen Kwan's little mustache thing? I don't know.
He's got
yeah, the
this-
mustache
this
isn't great, but
goatee.
yeah. Yeah.
Also, he was born in Los Gatos, California, which
Just
is
like you.
no, but it's
Oh.
really
Not great.
crazy.
No.
I love cats.
Oh.
What? That
Okay.
is okay. That's a stretch.
This
It's
is
not a stretch.
this is getting out of
I
hand.
really love cats.
No, it's a stretch.
This is starting.
Go
This
ahead.
is starting to.
He likes chess, as
Mm.
do I. And I'm excited to say we have another thing in common. We are both married, but not
me.
to each other.
You're married to me.
No,
wait, not to what?
Wait,
Not
I
to
don't
each
know,
other.
I don't
Wait a
know if
minute.
that was necessary.
Wait a minute,
we're not married to each other.
Stephen. We could have problems here.
So that is the quantum theory report. But I do need to say one thing,
Okay.
I'm nervous now.
and you should be. Why have they not offered him?
We feel.
We talked about
We
it.
feel that they have offered him an extension.
We think he turned it down.
We think he
Ugh.
said. We think his wife is from Chicago. We think he wants to go play in Chicago. But
And he plays chess, so he thinks he's smart.
Okay,
but,
but
we
keep in mind,
we love Stephen Kwan.
what was
I don't
his,
love him clearly as much as my wife loves him.
what was his favorite team growing up?
Oakland?
No.
San Francisco.
Yes.
Was it? Oh, wow.
Just
Wow.
a thought.
Okay,
You know way too much.
You know
about
way
Stephen
too much
Kwan.
about Stephen Kwan.
I do.
Is this a problem?
Way too much. This is clearly a problem.
I know more than I
do
can
that?
say.
Can we
It's clearly a
post
problem.
this?
More than I
Steven.
can say.
Stephen,
Steven.
I'm never
Oh, Steven.
introducing you to my wife.
Steven, I love you.
Okay.
Steven.
All right. Thank you. That was the quantum theory report. Well done. Very well done. We'll be right back. All right, we're back again. That was the quantum theory report. Thank you so much to my mom.
Really? We're thanking her for
that
that?
was-
That just happened.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, that was
My wife just hit on Stephen Kwan.
Like a
I don't even know
Marvel
what to
movie.
say.
yeah.
I don't know what to say about this.
Great nonetheless, and it may become a permanent fixture. We'll see. As long as there are no restraining orders
Restraining
filed.
orders filed by Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, we're gonna workshop that one.
All right.
So let's get back to impactful moves. I'm just gonna list off some names here. Slade
Rapid fire.
Ciccone.
Rapid fire.
Slade Ciccone.
Boom.
Big boom.
No, okay, listen. Slade Ciccone.
Slade Ciccone gets 2 big booms.
I think he's
He'll
let me
be in
see.
AAA.
Yes.
So it doesn't
well,
matter.
he's
He's
hurt.
He's hurt. He's hurt. So
I think they're gonna stretch him out as a starter, and I think he's gonna be great.
yeah,
Hopefully.
I think he very much resembles a Cy Young Award winner from us from our past.
Without like 4 pitches.
Wow.
CC Sabathia.
No.
Not. He's going in as a Yankee. Everyone has to get over it. He never really wanted to be in Cleveland.
You had that one pent up.
Yeah.
I think
was on
I
site.
think he liked Cleveland. I think though, but when someone pays that much money
We're-
and you win
Well,
World
and
Series,
you grow up a Yankees fan.
We're
You want to
getting
yeah,
off
you
topic.
kind of like him. Yeah.
I like him. He signed my jersey. So
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, that team."
yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great
Mahoning
story,
Valley
by the way.
This is the
Scrappers,
first time
baby.
anyone's ever brought them up.
Listen,
Right.
fans, and listen, we got to come back to that story because
We will eventually.
Yeah.
yeah,
we will.
because that's a great. We have a great CC Sabathia story for you in a future cast.
Ortiz. will
I
be
think-
a
Very bad
really
spring,
good-
but maybe he was working on stuff. But maybe he
I
also
think he
just
was
sucks.
working
We'll
on
see.
pitches, and he's going to come out and be way better than what he was.
I think he's going to be a really good number 3
It's
starter.
going to be great.
I think it'd be awesome. Paul Sewald.
Oh, how can you
They
go?
should. I thought they were getting rid of Seawald because it wasn't good to the animals.
It's not. That's not the kind of Seawall we're talking about.
Oh boy.
Listen, okay, so I think you can never go wrong adding that kind of veteran presence that everyone loves to your bullpen, especially a guy who can pitch like him.
He was assigning to mitigate any regression from the greatest bullpen ever assembled.
So Cade Smith didn't have to throw
Which
And Hunter
this,
Gaddis.
50 innings
which,
a week.
Which
Yeah.
what we have right now is the greatest bullpen ever assembled.
He'll take away some high leverage innings from Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis, and it'll make him that much better.
Yep.
Jacob Junis.
Are you allowed to say that?
I don't know.
If he comes back and is anywhere near the pitcher he was before the injury, he is a bonus to our starting staff.
You ever been punched in the jejunus?
In the Junis.
I don't think
What's a
I don't
Jujudas?
think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing.
Colby Allard, good depth starter.
He's going to be in AAA.
He's going to be in
Yeah,
AAA.
he's going AAA.
Had a very bad last start.
Hopefully, we do not need him, but if we do, I think I'll trust him.
Yeah, I think
I
he's
think he'll be
pitching.
okay.
I think he's pitching for a job of somewhere. Right?
Sure.
He might not be with
Yeah.
us, but he's pitching for a job.
Last name John Means.
He'll be back
Awesome.
really late, but he pitched good at a lot of points in his career.
Awesome.
But he also
signing.
keeps getting hurt.
Yep.
If he's healthy, he's going to slide into that number 4 spot and make us a really tough starting lineup.
He is insurance when Bieber leaves.
No, he's also gone.
No, Means has 1 year next year. He signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, he's signed
Does
a
he?
2-year deal.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
So he
that's
is.
fine.
He'll be our number 3 starter next year, unless Ortiz just has an absolute crazy.
Yeah, because
season.
next year you have to assume Ortiz and Saccone are going to be even better.
Agreed.
Maybe.
So, all right, real quick, let's go into the 26-man roster. I'm just gonna list them. Starting pitchers: Bybee, Williams, Ortiz, Lively, Allen. That's kind of
Allen earned the 5th spot.
Yeah,
the way he
earned
pitched
it.
his spring.
I assumed that
Everyone else we
McKenzie-
knew.
I assumed McKenzie would get a crack at the number 5 to start the year because Allen has options.
His first start was good. His last few starts were not
I
good.
think
were-
Spring.
I
really,
think
really bad.
McKenzie
They
would
were
have
bad
had to
enough.
been. I think McKenzie would have had to been lights out this spring to get the starting nod.
I don't
he
think
was
he
going to
would've
be
had-
my breakout player before the spring happened.
I think he really only needed like 2 or 3 decent starts.
I will say this: I think he pitches better now moving forward because his buddy Nolan Jones is back. They were very close friends.
True.
I think it was tough on Tristan when they traded him away. And I think now that he's back, I think it's going to give some new life to Tristan.
I think it'll give him that extra motivation to show up and work every day. But he's sliding to the bullpen, so your bullpen is Joey Cantillo. Awesome. I like to see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the
Yeah.
mold,
He's lefty.
in the mold of Sam Hedges.
And to be honest with you, for Joey Cantillo, he does have 2 really good pitches, and his other stuff is still a work in progress. So,
but
it's a
I
perfect
also,
spot for him.
I also wouldn't.
He
be
could be a starter
surprised
later down the road.
if Logan Allen struggles. Cantillo probably gets sent down to AAA to stretch out as a starter, and I would imagine at some point we'll see him start a few games this year.
But I think Allen actually figures some stuff out, and I think he's going to stay within himself a little more.
I hope so.
And I think he throws more pitches for strikes now. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
Cantillo, McKenzie we talked about. Junis is going to be. I mean, he's a veteran. I will see. I trust him. I don't know how many innings he's going to get to start the year. They're gonna have to spread the wealth a little bit because they want to kind of limit the innings this year because everybody was way overworked last year.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
not a bad move. Seawald we talked about. Tim Herron, obviously your lefty killer. Cantillo and Herron going to be your lefty killers.
Yep.
And I don't have an issue with either one of them facing righties either.
not at all
Cade Smith,
dominant,
Hunter Gaddis,
dominant,
Emmanuel Clase,
dominant.
the GOAT.
Back end, just bang.
Yeah,
Better
he
than
just-
Mariano Rivera. Better than Mariano Rivera by a lot.
by a
throws,
lot.
and throw Seawald in
Argue
there.
with a wall.
And throw Seawald in there in that mix. You've
Yeah.
got 4 guys who can just shut you down at the end of a game.
Yeah. And let's go to some position players. Your catchers, Bo Naylor, Austin Hedges, obviously.
It's really good.
Boy. Together, they're almost one half of a good hitter.
Not
Listen.
even close.
Not even-
Listen. Bo's a better hitter this year than he was last year. You watch and see. And Austin Hedges.
Everyone loves Austin.
Austin Hedges is there because every team he plays on has a chance to win a championship for some reason. I don't know why. Just he's that guy.
Yeah. I mean, they are what they are. They're both really good defensively. They're both going to get enough time, I think.
They're both going to have a 60 WRC plus combined.
And
I
the
don't know
sound
about
bites
that.
from Austin Hedges during the season are worth
Priceless.
every penny they pay him.
Yeah.
Literally every penny they pay
Yeah,
him.
he's unbelievable.
Genius. Comedy genius.
I don't think he's doing it to be funny, though.
We should get him on the show.
God, I wish. That would be incredible.
Listen, no one else wants to talk to him. He'll come on the show.
Oh, we'd give him 2 hours.
We'll tell him we got 12 listeners. Just
Come
come
on, man.
Just
He
come
can
on
do the
this-
Quan segment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. would
He
love
loves
that.
Stephen Kwan,
He does.
except for when he loses in chess to Stephen Kwan. He hates that
I'm sure that happens often.
often.
Anyway, all right, first base, Santana, Manzardo. Cool. I mean, we knew that. We don't have a second baseman. Shortstop, Brian Rocchio.
Wait. We do have a second baseman. Arias,
Gabriel-
Schneemann. You never know. Angel
Gabriel
Martinez.
Arias
I know
is
Martinez
listed
might come up and
as
get a shot. Brito's there in the
Will
wings.
Wilson.
There's guys. And Will Wilson.
Gabriel Arias
Big
is
Willie
listed
style.
as your
Will-
starting
Big
second
Willie
baseman. I don't want to talk about Arias.
All right.
All right, shortstop Brian Rocchio. I think he solidified that, and I think he's going to be great this year.
Breakout player of the year for all of us.
Jose is Jose.
I have a different one. But I think Rocchio is going to be really good.
Stephen Kwan is Stephen
Who's your
Kwan.
breakup player of the year? Hold on. Who's your breakout
Hang on,
player
we're
of the
going to
year?
get there.
We'll
Let me
get there, we'll get
let me finish.
Okay,
going on
listen.
there.
Okay, Jose.
Jose is my breakout player of the year. I think this is the year he figures
I think
it out.
he's going to be okay.
This is the
I think
year.
Jose
This
might
is
get
his
it done
year.
this year.
Jose, Stephen Kwan, Lane Thomas in a contract year.
Oh, listen, that is a very important. What he just said right there. Lane Thomas is in a contract year. You are about to get the best effort from Lane Thomas that you have ever gotten because Lane Thomas is actually playing for a real contract now. This
Yeah,
is
he's
like
playing for a
Lane-
long-term deal.
Lane Thomas has a chance to go out and make 10, 12, $15 million a year for the next
15
however many
something.
years. So trust me, you are going to see the best of Lane Thomas right now.
Nolan Jones, you know how we feel about him. He's still a question mark, but you know it's the Nolan Jones, Junkenzie Noel platoon is 1,000 times better than the Will Brennan, Junkenzie Noel platoon.
Welcome back, Mr. Jones.
Welcome back.
We think you're going to be a big star.
Utility Daniel
already said that.
Schneemann, and that leaves one open roster spot. There's speculation that they're going to bring somebody back.
I think I know who it is.
Could be Mr. Wilson. I don't even know if that's his last name. Is it Will Wilson? Is that actually what it is?
That's what it is. Will Wilson.
Is it?
Yeah. Big
Okay.
Willie style.
Big Willie style. Big Willie style's all in it. Getting
You can
jiggy with
find the Big Willie style shirts here at our
it.
website.
Yeah, right.
Can't find it.
No, I can't.
The underwear either. Can't find that.
I personally think it's going to be Angel Martinez. I think they're just going to go ahead and give it to
No,
him.
he's gonna start in AAA because he needs at bats.
I don't think he needs everyday at bats. I don't think they're that worried about his development because I just don't see a path to him being an everyday player anymore.
I see
As
one because
sad-
we don't have a second baseman.
As sad as it is, I mean, you have Brito and you have Bazana on the way, and I just don't think Martinez is ever going to be the hitter that you need. And
We'll see.
you know, I think that's kind of the role that they're going to give him the Tyler Freeman role. Schneemann's probably going to get the most at bats as utility infielder, but I think he's going to play both infield and outfield. I think that's just my guess. Otherwise, they say supposedly they're on the phone still looking for external options through trade or
I think I know who it is.
waiver wire pickups. Who is it?
It's Mike Trout.
Clearly.
Mike Trout's our 26th man.
That's what I hear.
I
He's
think
going to
so.
play utility.
But whose side is he on? He on our side? Or is he on the side of the NWO?
I don't know. I don't know. Mike Trout, I think that would be an interesting deal if we could pull it off. Who you gonna trade for him though?
Well, pretty much half
Gabriel
this roster
Arias,
that
I
I
hear.
just listed.
Gabriel
that
Arias
is
for
listed.
Mike Trout, straight up,
1 for 1.
1-for-1.
They should also give us a pick,
Yeah,
comp pick.
yeah.
We'll take Anthony Rendon.
I don't know. We
I
won't.
hear he loves to play baseball. All right.
Anthony Rendon is still alive. still in the
Somewhere.
league?
Hardly.
I mean, he
Holy
gets
smoke.
paid, but I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
him on a field in
No.
years. So
He's like on a beach somewhere.
yeah, he's like,
weighing
hey,
320
Good
pounds.
thing I
Sorry,
signed
guys.
for $40 million a year in
Can't
LA.
come
He's
in
like, oh, you
today.
want me to play this year?
can't
Oh,
come in today. Pulled my
let me get in
hamstring
shape.
on the beach.
Let me get in shape.
So hot takes, bold predictions. Let's talk about this for a second. We're gonna go down the list. I want to hear breakout player picks.
Opening day, Thursday.
Okay,
KC.
we're getting down to the wire. So breakout player of the year. Who wants to go first?
You already know mine. I think it was going to be Tyler Freeman. He is going to be the breakout player
Still
of
going to
the
be
year
Tyler
for Colorado.
Freeman. He's the breakout player of the year for the Guardians this year.
And no, I think it's
From
going to be.
Colorado.
I think it's Brian Rocchio. I think he's the obvious choice for what the way he looks in the spring is the way he looked in the playoffs last year. That was not the regular season Brian Rocchio that we see now. He's a totally different confidence level of player, and his skill set now is just going to play.
So by breakout, do you mean he's going to take that shortstop job and excel, or do you think he's just going to hold on to it?
No. He's going to excel. Like, listen,
I think he's going to have a top 5 WAR of all shortstops
I agree.
in the MLB this year.
I would agree.
That's a hot take.
I believe
right.
it.
Hey.
I think he's going to hit close to 300, and I think he's going to be the best fielding shortstop.
Somebody write that
I completely
down.
agree.
Somebody write that.
I'm with
down.
you. I'm with you. I think he's that good.
All right, so you got Rocchio. Who do you got?
I got Gavin Williams. I think this is the year he's Garrett Cole.
Oh, that's a good pick.
This is the year.
That's a
Fair
good pick,
enough.
dude. 21
That's a really
strikeouts
good
in the
year.
spring.
I think he's going to have.
He's just mowing people down.
I think he's going to have almost 200 strikeouts if he
We're
can
gonna
pitch
give him-
enough innings.
Listen, we're giving him the new nickname right now. He's the Big Train. He's the
Wow.
Big Train. I'm
He's
telling
L-Train?
you, that dude
L-
is the
L-Train.
Big Train. That dude is the Big Train. He is just mowing people down. He's running people over. 21 strikeouts in the spring. There's no one even close to that. Like, no one does that. Who does that in the spring?
Well, when your stuff is as electric as
If he
his.
can
He's
pitch-
striking out everybody.
If he can pitch enough innings this year, I think he'll get Cy Young votes.
Yeah.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But there's zero
Those
chance.
tip pitches.
Big Train T-shirts. You can find them on our website.
We don't sell T-shirts. There's a 0% chance.
Big Willie and Big Train.
Yeah, 0% chance we ever get him to sign an extension.
Who, Gavin?
No.
No,
a Scott
never,
Boras
never,
client.
never.
It's never going to happen.
But we just got to be happy
he's
with him
going
while he's
into
here.
he's going into arbitration. He's going to free agency.
That's fine, but we got like 3 years left.
And yeah,
We
I'm
got
just-
way more than
we're gonna
3
just
years.
throw
We,
maybe
we got
4.
like 5 years left.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
good.
Or he's around forever, dude.
We're good on him.
You're gonna think he's been playing for us for 20 years by the time his arbitration
It'll be like
comes.
31.
Yeah.
My breakout player is still Bo Naylor. I think that I had a hot take recently, and I was actually on the Selby is Godcast YouTube, or I guess it would have been their Patreon.
They're not paying us. Don't promote them.
I like them. They're my favorite podcast besides this one. And I've never listened to this one, so I don't. But I sent in my hot take about Bo Naylor, and it was I think he's going to be a 125 WRC plus.
Whoa.
That is way too high.
But here's the kicker.
Whoa.
Hang on.
That's
hang
an
on.
all-star catcher.
This
he
is
did that in that
he
2
makes the
months.
All-Star team.
You want him to do that a whole
This
year?
is
That was like the
mega-
best 2 months of his career.
This is the mega kicker.
2 years ago.
It gets hotter.
Although I do think he
Hang
hits
on.
better without his brother around.
It gets hotter. You ready? I think he gives you a 110 WRC plus versus left-handed pitching.
Wow.
I think he has the potential
Wait,
to be
are
an
you
all-star.
trying to tell us
This is
that
the hot take
Austin
segment.
Hedges
I'm not
is?
gonna argue.
Are you trying to tell us
This is the hot
Austin
take
Hedges
segment.
is not going to hit against lefties?
I'm trying to tell
Are you trying to tell us that?
I
How could
don't
they pull
think-
Austin Hedges out against lefties?
How could they?
He-
I don't know. How could they?
Because he hits a home run like every 30 games.
Well, unless it's spring training, he hits one every night.
He's great.
He's something else, man.
Hedges is great.
When the games don't matter, he really
He's fantastic.
best.
he can really let it all loose.
But we love him. We love him. He's great.
2 more questions. Number 1, who will be the most impactful new player?
What do you mean by new?
Yeah.
Like
Define the criteria here.
off-season
Acquisition?
acquisition
Or rookie.
or rookie. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or rookie.
Okay, here's my hot take then. Answer that question. Nolan Jones hits 35 home runs this year,
Is he playing full time then?
playing full time.
Hey, what about John Kenzie Noel?
I
What's he
think
doing?
Kenzie Noel gets DH at bats, and then they keep Nolan's game numbers down to keep him healthy, and he'll play right field.
Nice.
I think
I think he hits 35 bombs.
George Valera hits 25 home runs in center field.
Just in July?
Yes. And then he shows up and he's the second coming of Robinson Cano without the steroids, but as a center fielder.
Well, we don't know.
And
without
then-
the
You're
steroids.
taking all kind of shots.
and
at
then in the
Yankee players today,
postseason, in the
man.
World
Wow.
Series, he had 7 home runs, and then we win the World Series.
You're a bitter
and
Cleveland
George
fan.
Valera wins MVP.
Hey, all I'm saying is Gabriel Arias is a better shortstop than Derek Jeter.
That's not debatable.
That's not debatable.
What did Derek Jeter have? Negative 150
Well,
career DRS or whatever.
on the bright side, we don't have to worry about anyone from New York listening to this show.
Good.
I hate New York. I don't want them listening.
Anyway,
We don't like you guys anyway.
my most impactful new player. I'm gonna say Paul Sewald, and I think that might be a safe take, but I think
Oh, you think that's a safe take?
I think that's a safe take.
You mean an all-star
The
pitcher?
Dolphins weren't safe.
All-star pitcher might be an
Listen,
impactful guy.
What about the
Good,
Whales?
good call, Brent.
I don't think. Yeah.
Way to go out on
Yeah.
a limb.
I don't. He doesn't even have to be.
I
great.
said Nolan Jones is going to hit 35 home runs. He's never hit 35 home runs.
Listen, he doesn't have to be great. I alady gave my hot take.
Sewell's one of the best
Listen.
relievers in baseball.
I said
my-
George Valera. He hasn't
What are
even
you
played.
doing? Yeah, George Valera hasn't
a
been up.
major league
What are you doing?
I said Bo Naylor's gonna have a 125 WRC+.
He's been hurt for 3 years.
It doesn't get hotter than that.
You should have said. You could have said Espino's going to come up. He's going to win the Cy Young
Espino grew
in
into-
1 month of September.
No, this is my down to earth. I think he's going to be the most impactful, and I think he's going to allow. I think Bybee and Williams are going to throw more innings this year than they have ever thrown in their careers. I think Ortiz is going to look good, but I don't think he's going to give you that many innings. I think he's a 4th, 5th inning guy, maybe. So I think Sewald is going to allow you to lean on your bullpen without overtaxing like we did last year.
Okay, listen, to go along with your line, then, I'm going to say I think Stephen Kwan is going to hit like 275. At least.
God.
He's going to hit bad.
At least.
At
Okay.
least.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sewald's going to be a good pitcher. Kwan's going to at least hit
Jose
275.
might steal 10
We're right in the
bases
same
this year.
conversation here, right?
Clase is going to get at least 15 saves.
Jose is going to field at least one ground ball and throw out a guy first.
All right. Moving on.
What's the over and under on
Hey,
that?
listen, I gave the hottest take of the show. I gave the hottest take of the show.
No way.
Bo Naylor, 125 WRC plus.
I said
110.
George Valera's going to
Nerlens Jones, 35
World Series
home runs.
I'm telling you.
MVP.
Well, first of all, George Valera is not even going to be up.
He's going to be up.
So
That could be true.
Because I'll tell you what, Thomas isn't going to be in center field halfway through this year, one
it'll
way
be-
or another.
I think it'll be
One
Chase
way or
DeLauder.
another,
I
he's-
think it'll be Chase DeLauder.
somebody's going to sabotage. Okay, let's talk about overall record. The over-under is set at 82.5.
In Vegas, is that official?
I mean, it's FanDuel,
FanDuel.
but whatever. They
FanDuel
don't-
hates us.
They don't sponsor us.
FanDuel hates us.
So screw them.
FanDuel hates us.
Although I might try to reach out to them.
I know people that work at FanDuel.
What's the
Do
You
what,
can't say that.
Really?
what's Vegas got us?
Tell them to sponsor us.
I don't want to.
Why not?
I hate FanDuel.
Why? I
They
listen.
hate us.
I'm
They
not
hate
saying
the
I
Guardians.
like it.
FanDuel hates the Guardians.
I've never made any money.
Listen,
on
FanDuel is like every other big market anything. They are all about the Yankees, the Dodgers,
Well,
any
that's
team
the
from
suckers
Chicago.
that give them the money.
That's all they want is their money. They don't care about the Guardians. We don't care about them.
Because we're not giving them money because
That's
we're
right.
intelligent
Yeah. That's
right.
sports fans.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Anyway,
They go after the big money from New York. Go
Hey.
ahead. Chase New York. When's the last time New York won it? No, they haven't. That's right. That's right.
anyway. So 82.5 over under 82.5. First of all,
Wait, do we answer that?
82 and a half.
yes,
Over.
I'm taking the over.
Over.
So what's a good number? What do you think? I am sitting somewhere. I'm sitting like 93.
I'm like 90.
Yeah, I think 93.
The first half of the season is going to be really hard.
I think
on
it's going to
us.
be rough. I think the second half they're going to be the best team in baseball. Personally,
I'm
I'm
We're going to have so many players coming back the second half.
That's the
David
thing.
Fry is going to be
June
hitting
and July.
and, like,
June and July is going
all
to
right.
be
So
a
what
different
did you
world.
guys? What did you guys go?
I said 93.
I said 90.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna go 93 and a half.
90. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna stick with 93 and a half.
I think they're going to be a lot better than everyone gives them credit for. Apparently,
always are.
Apparently, Fangraphs has us finishing third.
I think last year, Fangraphs had us finishing like fourth in our division. So, and
Yeah,
guess
they-
what? We won it with the fourth best record in baseball.
They
Just so
hate
you
us.
know, Fangraphs.
Anyway, stupid analytics. Who needs them?
We're like, never mind.
We're going to be the Eric Hosmer podcast. Numbers are stupid.
What does this even mean? This is like added together numbers?
Well, you know,
I played a below average first base.
it's the eye test that really counts.
Yeah. See, that's all I got. Anybody got anything else they want to add real quick? Or
Listen, we're gonna have a lot of fun this year.
I think so.
We're gonna talk through. We might do some roller coaster ride. I think it's going to be a really fun
boy.
season. I think, again, we may start off slow, but I got to tell you right now, I think once this team comes together and we get some pitching healthy, I think we really got a really good shot to win the division again and make another run in the playoffs. I
Yes.
think we're good.
Try not to get too high or too low early on. April and May could be rough.
That's right.
They could be
And
rough.
it's tough coming off a year like last year because it was
Yeah.
a high year. Man, that was a fun year. That's like one of the funnest years we've ever had watching them.
Yeah.
Like I know, because listen, for those of you who don't know, Zian here on our panel, Zian is watching games with Zian is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
It's not
he
that
is on a
bad.
roller coaster
He
ride
is
from the
the
first pitch
roller
to the
coaster ride.
I'm shutting it off in the 7th if we go down a run and a half or 2
Listen.
runs. I'm shutting it off.
A couple home runs were hit in that playoff run, and I did turn the TV off.
It was the third inning. It was the third inning. It was turning the TV off in
it
the
all
third
right?
inning.
I've
Season's
seen enough.
over.
So,
I've seen enough.
so he's really on the. But don't stay off that roller coaster because it's going to be fun if you just enjoy it and sit back and watch these young kids play, and it's going to be fun.
And there's a lot of new guys. There's going to be a lot
And
of.
the
There's going
best
to be a
bullpen
rotating
in baseball.
door of faces
It's
here.
not even. It's not even a competition. We have the best bullpen in all baseball.
Best bullpen in baseball, a much better rotation
Yep.
with depth options,
Yep.
not only on the major league roster but in AAA. We didn't even get into prospects that we could
We will
see
though.
this year.
We'll
get
touch.
into
We'll
all
touch
that.
on those later as the minor league season starts to kick off.
Second base is a mess, but it won't be for long.
It'll be a little long.
We're gonna see Juan Brito May 9th. I'm calling
Wow,
it
another
right
hot
now.
take.
May 9th.
May 9th.
Mark your calendars.
Mark it down.
Another hot
Write it
take.
down. All 12 of you listening to this show, write it down.
Put the cartoon X's on the calendar
Yep.
in the
Yep,
movies.
cross 'em out.
Well, I was starting to think that what is the over and under on the 12 people listening to us?
Oh, I'm taking the under.
I think we might have to take the under. on
Yeah, I'm
that.
taking the under.
It's a safe bet.
So anyway, thank you guys for listening to our first episode of the Die Hard Guards podcast, and we'll talk to you next week. What do you think?
Yeah, man.
Go Guardians.
See ya.